Hello everybody. Today I'm going to demonstrate to y'all how to make a grilled cheese sandwich. So if you can look here, you need bread, butter, cheese, a spatula or device to flip, and a pan. The first thing that we're going to do is butter our bread. So as we put the butter on the bread, I already pre-sliced the butter to make my job a little bit easier. But you can go ahead and use soft butter and spread it, or use hard butter and kind of chunk it up like this and spread. You want to get the butter side of the bread onto your hot skillet, which I've pre-warmed. You should hear a little bit of a sizzle. You want to make sure that butter melts nice, and you want that side of the piece of bread to start browning. Once that hits your pan, you can go ahead and put your cheese on. I went ahead and cut up my favorite cheese to put on the bread. And you can formulate it any way you need to on the bread. You just want the cheese to start warming on there. You're going to give it a second to cook and to melt a little bit. Once that starts happening, you can go ahead and put the butter on your second piece of bread. I didn't use as much butter for this one because their pan already has a little bit extra butter from the first slice on there. I'm going to set that on top of the cheese. While we're waiting for the cheese to melt, we want to go ahead and get our spatula ready for the flipping. When you flip it, you want to come underneath the bread and then in one swoop, flip it over so that the opposite side is now in the warm part of the pan. We're going to give it a couple more seconds just so we know that the cheese is nice and melted and that the two pieces of bread are stuck together, because that's our main goal. All right, we're going to try the flip. As you can see, the butter made it so the sandwich didn't stick. We're gonna do our swoop motion, swoop, and just like that, you can see it how it's starting to turn a little brown, and you're starting to get that nice kind of golden feature. So as we wait for the sandwich to cook fully, we can go over the different types of breads you can use. I personally like using white bread, but you can use sourdough or wheat bread or any other bread that you normally buy. Same with the cheeses. I normally try to go with cheese that I can cut myself, but you can go with the pre-packaged sliced cheese, and you can go with Swiss or any other cheeses that you prefer. Today we're using cheddar, kind of a Colby Jack mix. So, still waiting for that other side to brown up. And if it's not going fast enough, you can go ahead and turn your oven a little up higher, so that the heat in the sandwich cooks a little bit faster. You can make sure, give it a good smush to make sure the sandwich is nice and compressed. As you can hear it kind of sizzling a little bit, that's that butter underneath it cooking. I have heard people use mayonnaise instead of butter. I'm not a huge mayonnaise fan, so I like to stick with butter. I'm sure you could also use oil as well if that is a health conscious decision you want to go with. All right, let's go ahead, flip this sandwich again, see what the other side looks like. Look at that. That's almost perfect. You can even hear how good the crunchy the bread is. We're gonna let the other side cook for a second, and then we're gonna plate and cut. All right. Moving it back over to the plate we started with. Make sure you turn off your stove, because as a firefighter, that is probably the most important thing that you could do in this whole process, is turn off the stove. We're gonna go ahead, cut this sandwich, and you can see all the cheese is starting to melt and stick to the bread. All right, y'all. Y'all have a good night. Thank you for watching. Bye.